Previously on Sodor, the modern years.
Duke, you'll be taking the wedding train.
I'm going to crash on the bridge. I'm sorry, I can't go on.
So, you actually chose to have that accident?
Yes, and I think I'd make the same choice again.
It sounds like you prevented a disaster.
She did. Are you alright, Adeline?
It's a lot to take in.
That is irrelevant. You're the driver of the lorry. You're supposed to watch out and listen.
Duke, are you alright?
I believe so, Adeline. Thank you for coming to my aid.
Well, I was right there in the yard.
Thank you, Adeline. We appreciate it. Now, let's see what we're dealing with. It didn't take long for the workmen to inspect Duke's tender and the derailed trucks. They had just finished when one of the waiting drivers approached them. "Excuse me, but is this going to take much longer?" "We've only just started. Please be patient." "I can't be delayed. I've got a whole van of packages to deliver."
And I've got an Aston Martin DB9. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, but right now it can only go as fast as your van.
"But my van's not moving."
We're all in the same situation. Furthermore, can you not see that you're increasing the delay by interrupting these workmen?
This young man is correct. Please let us get on with our job, then you can get on with yours.
Indeed.
My Aston's got a top-notch sound system too. How about some music while we wait?
Without waiting for a reply, the young man returned to his car.
Who was that?
I don't know, but I didn't care for that bragging about his car.
But he was just making a point.
That may be so. I just hope his music is something refined. What the blazes is that?
I heard it on the radio in the workshop during my rebuild. Something Mr. Hugh called K-pop. Apparently the workmen like it.
Well, it would never suit His Grace.
His Grace?
The Earl of Sodor. I was named after him.
Oh.
Although having said that, I'm yet to meet the current one.
Adeline had been right. The workmen did enjoy the music. With it lifting their spirits, they worked quickly and soon had Duke and his trucks back on the rails. With that done, Adeline helped Duke back to Croven's Gate.
So you were named after the Earl of Sodor?
Yes, that was Sir John Arnold Norrby, the Earl of Sodor back in 1880. He was the first chairman of the Mid-Sodor Railway and a proper gentleman.
That was your previous line?
That's correct. As the line's number 1, I was named in his honour.
But you're named Duke, not Earl.
The Earl of Sodor falls under the Duchy of Lancaster. There's no actual Duke of Lancaster, so the Sudrians considered the Earl their Duke. It was an affectionate joke at the time, but it stuck.
Oh, I see. You've got quite a good grasp on your history.
Thank you for listening to it. I don't often get to talk about those days.
Adeline fell silent. Duke was lucky to be able to talk about his history like that. When they reached Croven's Gate, Adeline shunted Duke into the workshop. He glanced at the coaches on the other track, which the workmen were cleaning and decorating.
Is that my wedding train?
Yes. Mr. Sam gave me very detailed instructions for it.
Looks like you followed them to the letter. Very nicely done.
Thank you. Anyway, I must get back to it. I hope you're better soon.
Thank you, Adeline.
Adeline went back to her work. She had just shunted Duke's trucks when a whistle sounded out. Peter Sam steamed in, looking very worried.
"Hello, Adeline. Is Grandpuff all right? I heard he was in an accident with a lorry."
He is, yes. 'Twas his tender that got hit. The workmen are looking after him now.
That's a relief.
You two go back a ways, don't you? That's why he calls you Stuart.
Indeed. He taught Falcon, Atlas, and myself most of what we know.
You must have plenty of stories to tell.
Indeed. Are you alright, Adeline?
To be honest, I don't know.
It's your amnesia, isn't it? If there's anything we can do to help, just let us know.
Thank you. Do you think you and the others could tell me stories about my time here? I mean, you all know more about me than I do.
Of course. It's the least we could do.
Thank you, Peter Sam. I'm glad I ended up on this railway, even if I can't remember most of it.
Peter Sam had barely left before the thin controller strode up.
Adeline, we're going to need your help.
How so, sir?
I'm afraid Duke is going to need some repairs, and he won't be able to take the wedding charter. None of the other engines will be back in time.
Are you asking me to take it, sir?
Are you up to doing so?
Well, it does need to be done, sir.
If you're sure.
Replied the thin controller. He filled Adeline in on the details, then left. Are you sure you're up to doing that, Adeline? We will be going around the lakeside loop.
Like I said, it needs to be done. I'll just have to press on.
A little while later, Adeline brought the wedding train to the platform at Crovan's Gate. As she braked the coaches to a stop, she saw a familiar figure waiting.
Good afternoon. Did we meet this morning?
Indeed, but not properly. My name's Simon. I'm the best man for this wedding. Speaking of that accident, I understand the engine involved was due to take this train.
I'm afraid so. He's still being repaired in the works, so I'll be taking it instead.
And he's named Duke, after the Earl of Sodor?
That's correct. Is that needed for the wedding?
Oh, not at all. He was just going to be Claire's something old, for the wedding package.
I've been around since... what does it say in my builder's plate?
Originally built in 1902, rebuilt in 2012.
Would that be old enough?
I'd say so. Ah, that's them now. I loaned them my Aston for the bridal car.
The wedding party quickly boarded, with the bridal party in the VIP coach at the front. Adeline departed right on time. Music played from the coaches, and the wedding guests sounded like they were enjoying themselves. Adeline kept her eyes on the rails before her, but the happy chatter and laughter from the coaches was infectious. Before long, Adeline reached the request stop at the lookout above the lake. Once the wedding party had disembarked, she headed forward with the empty train. She would need to return in an hour or so to pick them up for the wedding reception. Until then, she and her train would wait out of the way in Skarloey Yard. She had barely stopped before a humming sound drifted through the air. It wasn't insects or wildlife, it was too artificial for that. As another engine came into view, Adeline's memories stirred.
Hello, Harris. It is Harris, isn't it?
It is indeed. Hello, Adeline. I heard they'd rescued and rebuilt you. Sir Handel apologised to me this morning and said you'd remembered how you ended up under that bridge. Are you all right?
I think so. Most of my past is still a mystery to me, but I think I'll cope. I have to, really.
Oh, that sounds like you all right. Even if you don't remember it, you are a persistent engine.
But I don't think that applies now. Did Sir Handel mention my breakdown the other day?
He did, but I think that's just a setback.
You know me better than I know myself. May I ask a small favour?
Of course.
Out of all the engines here, you're the one who knew me best. Would you mind telling me more? I mean, if you've got time.
I don't mind at all. Where do you want to start?
For the next half hour or so, the two engines talked. Adeline had lots of questions, and Harris had plenty of answers. With each one, fragments of Adeline's past stirred within her mind. But these memories felt distant, and large gaps remained in them. After a while, Harris's driver spoke up.
Sorry to interrupt, but we do need to get going.
My apologies. I've been a little selfish.
Don't worry about it, Adeline. I understand.
Do you think we could talk like this again?
I'm happy to help, but it'll need to be in the next day or so. We're almost finished with the munitions, and I'm due to ship out on Monday.
Oh, what's going to happen after you ship out?
I dunno. I mean, I was in storage before they sent me back here. Wasn't much call for an engine like me. Anyway, it was good to see you again. I'll make time for another chat, don't worry.
Half an hour later, Adeline returned to pick up the wedding party. From the sounds of it, the wedding had gone well. Again, laughter and chatter came from the coaches. But as they passed through Skarloey station, Adeline's smile vanished. They were approaching that old iron bridge again, just like she had with Sir Handel during her shakedown run.
Driver, it's happening again.
What? Those flashbacks?
Yes, we're going to... I need you to get to that bridge ahead of me. Loosen one of the rails. We're going to get these people to Glennock on time, driver. Can you open my regulator a tad?
If you say so. What happened?
Please wait, driver. I'll need to concentrate, I think.
Dread chilled Adeline's boiler. 3 thoughts kept her going.
So I pressed on and, well, you know what happened.
Even if you don't remember it, you are a persistent engine.
I need you to get to that bridge ahead of me. Loosen one of the rails.
Well done, Adeline!
Thank you, driver.
So, what changed?
Did you hear what I told Percy and the others yesterday about my accident?
Aye. Oh, you were deliberately sent into that gorge?
Yes, on my orders. That's not the case this time. Then there's what Duncan and Harris told me.
Well, I'm glad you've worked it out.
So am I.
They reached Glennock without any issues, and the wedding party disembarked. Adeline headed off. Despite her success, a sense of melancholy overcame her. While her conversation with Harris had filled in some gaps, it had highlighted just how much she'd lost.